Milliman?
Okay, so
does that one go on? Do you just
No, it's still not working.
Not tonight.
So working? Okay.
I can
Thank you. Yes, it's good.
Move the chair up.
You want me to sit right in the front? You know what I'll do? I'll take a quick picture and then I can see.
That helps.
It's hard from the side.
So these are our preliminary results from our Regents exams that our students just completed. This is a very rough copy of our results. Our plan is to make a very detailed presentation either at the end of August or into September when we get some finalized results with regards to how we compare to other districts and compare to the county. If you look at the top bar, it's highlighted in blue, and that's our 2016 results. There are items that we do need to work on and do need to focus on, and that is definitely some of the focuses that we had put into place this summer with some of the curriculum writing projects that we have going on. But we are very proud of the work that our students have done. Not only our passing rates, but our mastery rates in the majority of our Regents results have increased overall. If you look here, this year in English, we had a passing rate of 97.5%, which is an increase from last year of 94.5%. What I was most impressed by, this is the first time that we're giving the English Common Core Regents. Our mastery rate was almost 79%. So we're very pleased with that as we go forward. The next is the Algebra Common Core.
Mr. Mann, I'm going to stop you for a second because this is the first time that the board is seeing the public level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. So can you just explain to the public and the board what those different levels mean?
So level 3 is passing. Level 3, 4, and 5 is college ready. And obviously level 5 is the master. Okay, so that's how we kind of combine those scores. Again, with the Algebra Common Core, this year's passing rate was 91% with a mastery rate of 22%, which is a significant increase from last year. And that's something, again, that I attribute to the work of our teachers, the work of our staff, students being in a Common Core classroom for a considerable amount of years. And you see the output with regards to their performance.
So wait, so level 2,
30.
level 2, so you have 30 that, so 1 and 2 are failing. So you have 46 kids that failed in 2016, and it's just the severity of their fail.
Correct.
Okay, so now, 2015 you had 33, which was very significant. So then you had,
And so we see a reduction
Yeah.
in moving kids from level to level.
And level 2 isn't necessarily failing because level 2 is that 55 to 64 window. So if you have students with special needs, that 55 to 64 window actually helps toward getting a Regents diploma. So it's not necessarily failing.
And our goal, is to move students from level to level. So as we continue through the courses, the goal is to, again, reduce the number of level 1s, move them to level 2, level 2 to level 3.
Well, I think it's pretty good for 1 year.
Geometry is the one where we had the most significant challenge in. If you notice, we had 76% passing. We had 73% last year. Our mastery rate dropped by 4%, probably by 5%. What we found, and I did put a little packet together that's on your seats in front of you. It has some background information for you that you can kind of go through. But when we do the more detailed presentation, we'll have a better example of where we fall within the county. And at that point, we could really respond to some questions pretty more in depth. But you'll notice that the questioning was much different. This is the most difficult geometry Common Core that has been given.
so I understand some districts, they're not including this, I think that's part of score.
That's not, so we did our research, we have not seen that yet. So that did come up, we did reach out to surrounding districts and we didn't hear that same thing.
So they're all, so this actually hurt a lot of children. Because mastery meaning 85 and above. So then that actually hurt those children that were going for mastery diplomas. So that's pretty significant.
Yeah.
so you just knocked out a whole bunch of kids.
Especially when you
7%.
look at 2014 and we were at 31%.
Yeah.
But 2014 was the last year that it wasn't the Common Core Regents exam.
Correct. It was the old Regents.
And is it, this is out, were you just talking about geometry?
That was geometry.
And, okay, was the geometry results and the prior Algebra 1 results only Common Core? Not the greater of the two, just the
Yes.
Common
Yes.
Core
Just
exam?
the Common Core. This I'm extremely proud about. If you look at our 2015 results, we were at 61% passing for the Algebra 2 Common Core. It's significantly greater at 95% of our students passing the Algebra 2 Common Core. Again, we're focusing on the mastery rate. We're focusing on the college ready piece, which is the levels 3, 4, and 5. And those are the areas that we're going to continue to focus on with the work that we're doing during the summer in our curriculum writing. For science, we did have a little bit of a drop, but we do significantly do well in this area. 89% of our students passed, 53% of our students attained mastery. So we did have an increase in our mastery rate.
Is there a reason why there were 70 more kids that took it this year?
70 more?
That's significant. We went from 490 kids taken in 2014 to 463 in 2015, and then 537. And I'm just wondering if there was, like, is it a 2-year class for some kids?
No. But our goal is to increase the number of students who are taking it at the middle school. So there is a significant increase in the middle school.
Also, that'll account for your drop in passing too. Middle school. That the majority of that increase comes from, maturity levels going to affect some of that. Yes.
Me? Do you want my speaker?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry.
That was a
I
good
said
comment.
that, Linda commented on the fact that there were more students that took it this year, and Dean had said that we were trying to increase participation at the middle school level. So I just said that it makes sense the maturity level in a middle schooler might affect some of the passing rate, whether it was, there was that drop in 3% in the passing rate. Even though it was still almost 90%, it was a little bit of a drop off, but when you have 70 students that take it, if a good increase of those are at the middle school level, the maturity of the middle schooler would definitely affect. It's more difficult for a middle schooler than take that test.
Do we know how that group in particular did, or no?
Yeah.
Or if that group got
We don't know if
larger,
we have that data right now.
or even if that group.
Yeah, I just want to know if the mastery diplomas are.
That's not mastery rate for graduation, so I'll get that information to the board as well. Living environments as well, we did see a small increase in our passing rate, as well as a minor decrease in our mastery rate. The one, if you, again, when you look at the number of students who are sitting for the exam and the number of students who are receiving a level 1 or 2, and you see the differences and changes in how we're trying to continue to move levels for our students.
So in August, you'll get the comparable schools to us and you can do the comparison.
And at that point, what I would suggest to the board as you go through the data, whatever questions you have that you can generate from there, that will help drive the presentation as well. So whatever you can forward to us as well, that would be helpful. Very proud of our chemistry results. Again, we had an increase in our passing rate and a significant increase in our mastery rate. And I do it, I'm going to go back to it again and again. We do a tremendous amount of professional development. We do a tremendous amount of curriculum writing during the summer, and the benefit, it definitely shows here.
So with that number of kids who are taking chemistry, Regents are declining, so you got 329. So what contributed to that?
What we're doing right now is the high school is working through their course sequences, and they're going through each of the departments to identify the pathway for kids starting in 7th grade of where kids would end up depending on what their grade point averages are. And what we're identifying is where we have redundancy in courses, where we have courses that are competing against each other, and that's identifying, especially in chemistry and physics, why we're having dips. So we're looking at that now, the high school's looking at that.
So is there a potential for this September or the following September to revamp the science cycle and how the classes are being taken?
We have a draft in place for science. The key is educating our students, educating our parents, educating our counselors as well as they're developing their 4-year plans for our kids in the middle school, and that's something that we're
Yeah,
this
I
year.
understand we had to drop it for this coming year, so, I mean, how do we prevent that from happening again?
We're doing a lot of work with our counselors to make sure that they have a strong understanding of what the course sequences are.
Eileen, you're gonna have to put a speaker on.
I'm sorry.
I can't hear you.
Physics, we saw a decrease as well. Again, we had a kind of a steady number of students who are taking the class, but our students still are performing consistently well. We still have a consistently high mastery rate, and it's something that we are looking at and figuring out why and how we can do better.
So when will you get the AP scores on that?
Hopefully by the next board meeting, the scores. I'll speak from experience. My daughter took the physics Regents and she didn't do as well as she thought she was going to. So she was AP physics.
Yeah, but I heard a lot of kids did well on the Regents, but not well on
She
the
had an
AP.
inverse relationship.
Oh, so, okay.
So I can't figure it out. Global history, geography results continue to be strong. Continue to look at our mastery rates. We have almost 57% of our students who are performing at mastery. And finally, U.S. history. Again, small increases, but we're continuing to maintain the high level of excellence that we have in that department and continuing the high level of mastery rates for all of our students. So again, you can generate your questions, concerns about certain content areas, the work that we're doing. We'll do a presentation in more detail with regards to the results, how we compare to the county, how we compare to similar schools, and how we, and one of the things that we're working on this year is our aspirational schools, the schools that we aspire to be like, to offer similar programs to, so we'll be comparing ourselves to those as well. And we'll have some more information with regards to AP scores as well as.
Can you tell us what are the aspirational schools?
I can't share that at this time. We're putting them together, the high school's putting them together. I have mine.
All right, so I'm gonna ask the question again. Are we going to revamp the science and the order of taking? I know Linda had mentioned that certain districts don't, in 8th grade or 9th grade, will take different sciences.
We're looking, right now the focus is on 10th through 12th. That's the focus. That's where we're identifying some challenges that we have with regards to competing courses. So that's the first thing to identify. The next piece would be to see if we want to, what changes we can make in the middle school that may affect, may have a positive effect on the middle school.
All right, so hypothetically, an 8th grader who's on an accelerated track, they would be more, their availability to what their take is more accessible.
Correct. And the multiple sciences is another piece. That's something that we are going to continue to push more strongly is the multiple sciences.
Versus a student who takes it starting in 9th grade, which Regents courses.
Okay. So, moving on.
Would this spreadsheet be able to be posted to the board agenda? Would that be possible?
I would rather post the final presentation. We do that, the comparison piece, but I have no problem with whatever you decide.
I was just trying to think of a good place to put it.
It's kind of being in isolation.
We have a whole newsletter coming out in the beginning of the school year focusing on all of the academic things that are happening. So
I think it's really good news, that's why I chose this.
It is good news. We did very well. Kids did very well.
Whatever, so you pass.
okay.